How you feeling?
Good. Good.
How did your procedure go?
I don't know. Don't remember.
What is in my ears right
Remember,
now?
you're supposed to be passing gas right now.
You know, it's easier said than done.
What?
Trying.
So depressing.
Ones.
What are you doing down there?
Scratching.
Oh my goodness. Does that feel better?
Yes.
What the fuck? It's in my ears right now. That started out so depressing, and then he just
Just let it rip out in that hospital bed. So hello
at
guys.
least he can fart. You know, I'm happy to hear that. Like, I'm happy that didn't stop.
Welcome guys
Ugh.
to this very gassy episode today.
Of the Double
We
D
are your
experience.
hosts. We are your hosts, Tall Palm Tree Man and other Tall Palm Tree Man. I don't know. Fuck.
Always
I don't know.
tall, always erect, but but sometimes cuckoo off the coconuts. I fucked that whole thing up. God, that sometimes tall, sometimes erect.
Redo. We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
redo this whole intro.
Sometimes tall, sometimes erect, but always cuckoo off the coconuts.
And always buying RTX 30 cards.
Yeah, you know, if you can manage to do that. Welcome everybody to the Double D experience. That was a clip from what the fuck was that a clip from, Dennis?
It was called Biggest Fart Ever. Literally, that's what it is. That's what it's called.
That was like an exclusive YouTube video? Like somebody's like, all right, you know, I'm gonna make this sketch about like this, you know, guy recovering from surgery and his wife.
No, this guy literally in this YouTube video that y'all just heard like 10 seconds ago. It was a post-surgery fart. He had just come out after his colonoscopy.
Okay.
And it has 7 million views.
I don't think anybody's licking his taint. Nobody.
One of my favorite comments from this was I'm pretty sure he just spray painted the wall behind him.
Oh, all right. Well, before it turns anybody else off away from the show, I wanna thank all the new followers we got recently on Instagram and the engagement that we've been having. Felicia, you're the goat. Thank you. I'm not a palm tree. You know, I'm half palm tree because I'm Cuban. But
He's
you know,
lying. He's at least 60% palm tree.
I am where it counts.
See, I told you.
I've
Why
got,
are you
like,
lying, David? Why are you lying to the
growing
audience
off
right
of it.
now?
It's actually a deepening concern of mine. I don't know what it is or
What?
where it's coming. I think it has something
What?
to do with being uncircumcised. It's like coconuts off of my palm tree. It's just like, you know, dangling there, and they're hard as fuck. And frankly, they hurt. And I feel like they belong somewhere deeper inside me, but it's not like a hernia where I could just, you know, just fucking.
Wait, I just lost my whole train of thought with that. Like, wait, so is your balls broken? Like what?
Oh, nothing's broken. Everything's functioning perfectly as intended.
Except your back.
That's been today's episode of the Double D Experience, guys. Follow us on the Instagram. You'll pull up the Fiverr plug. Fucking asshole.
What?
Don't make fun of my back.
I'm not making fun of your back. I'm just stating facts.
I don't make fun of
Which
my
we don't deal with in the show.
Don't make fun of my bad back. See, I'm literally pulling it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Big shout outs to Dennis for fucking using the Instagram again. And that's not a coincidence, too. We've gotten a lot of new followers on there recently and more engagement. So honestly,
All thanks to me.
All thanks to you, actually. You're contributing for once in your fucking life.
A lot of them.
Yes, thank you for calling Double D Tech Support.
Believe it or not, a couple of them were good friends of mine, actually.
Yeah.
which
too.
I found. No one cares about you, David.
Okay.
Everyone's here for me on the gram. I think that's like our realms. Like we like split it up like the Roman Empire. It's like you take the Twitter, I take the Instagram, and that's our realms. We govern those two areas by ourselves, and we do not stick our beaks in nothing and nowhere. We just stick to our zones, and then that's it.
Nah, man, I'm definitely about to head over to the Instagram soon, bro. That Greek boy pussy got me questioning my loyalty to Rome.
You know, David, like,
Mugdall, Roman Empire, Total
like,
War.
David, honestly, I will be honest with you.
Coming soon to Disney DVD.
If I had control of your Twitter,
Mugdall versus the Romans.
if I had control of your Twitter, like your
Shout
personal
out.
one, not the Double D Experience one, if I had control of yours,
My personal Twitter, yes.
yes, I would just say that, like, I would just like type and write like
Be canceled
very,
so fast.
very racist,
Fucking do
raunchy,
it.
homoerotic like type
Fucking
shit, like just
knew
saying
it.
like I want like 10 dicks in my asshole, like please any volunteers, and then put the hand raised emoji. And I would love to see like all of your Smash community like homies just all dog pile onto that Twitter, and they're gonna just be like, yo, it's about time. We thought you were never gonna come out of the closet. And then you're going to be so confused the next day after I hijack your Twitter, because everyone's just going to be sending you dick pics through Twitter DMs.
Oh.
And you are going to be so confused as to what the fuck I did. And then when you pop open your Twitter for that in that morning, right? You're just going to scroll through all this shit that I wrote within the span of 24 hours. And your eyes will just go from, okay, to... cannot believe he wrote this.
Dennis, this sounds methodical. How long have you been planning this? Like, you did that whole spiel. Like,
this
no
is Plan
breaks.
Z. This is Plan Z.
Can't
This is
possibly fail.
This is my Plan Z, David, and it's lemon scented. Believe it or not.
It's evil. It's diabolical. It's lemon scented. Oh, fuck you. I think I'd rather get canceled. I think I'd rather you
I could
just, like,
honestly, I could make that happen, David.
I know you can. It was a fucking risk that I even put to myself when
No,
I
no,
started this
like,
fucking
I could
show.
do it. Like I could do it. I could get you canceled within the span of 10 seconds.
It's gonna take a little longer than that. I mean,
No,
you gotta get the tweet
No.
up and...
No, David, you underestimate how stupid people are. Because you see,
I'm not underestimating shit. They tried to cancel
could-
Danny Sexbang off of some shit some dumbass
hold
kid
on,
found on a
hold on,
subreddit.
hold on. Let's not bring up some ancient history here. We're talking about the present right now.
It's not ancient enough.
It's ancient to me. But basically, how to get David canceled in 10 seconds. I'm gonna put up a video.
It's like a how to basic video right now.
Yeah, basically, a lot of eggs involved.
Vsauce, Michael here.
So it's gonna be this random white guy. It doesn't even have to be you. It could be any video of any white guy being racist towards black people.
Okay.
And then he is. I gotta find one where the man throws a lot of eggs at these black people.
Okay.
He has to scream the N-word.
It's just you doing whiteface.
Like obscenely loud. Like has to scream to the heavens where even Jesus looks down and goes, "Good Lord." And I am just gonna put an arrow to that white guy. He doesn't have to show his face. I'm just gonna point an arrow. Kind of like the Dora the Explorer clicker. Can you spot the racist? That's right. And it's just gonna have your name like just plastered like right on top of that guy, and it's just gonna like have the arrow pointing down saying, "Oh, that's David." And then you're gonna be trending. MSNBC is gonna say this is the worst hate crime they've seen in years. The U.S. National Guard's gonna get involved. The CIA is gonna come knocking at your door. They're literally just gonna put you on trials for hate crimes. They're gonna literally call you worse than Goebbels. And,
MAGA, no magging. MAGA, no magging.
And
MAGA,
then
no
after-
magging.
After you're put under the jail, I will do a hostile takeover of the podcast. And I will finally fulfill what has been my destiny for the last 52 episodes.
Ra's al Ghul's destiny. I am the Double D Experience.
What was 2 has now become 1.
Oh, yes! Microphones! Powerful agents to the uninitiated. But we are initiated. Aren't we, David? Members of the Double D experience.
But now it's become the single D experience. I literally just did like that whole improv story for like fucking 4 minutes. Jesus.
That was about to say you. That was methodical. I'm proud of you, dude. You said you couldn't do that, and you could do it. Oh,
No,
yes!
it's just like writing
Come
it
to
down
die
there for
with
me.
your
is-
podcast. That was fucking
I was-
methodical, dude.
I was wondering what would break first. Your podcast? Or your buddy?
Well, thank you for all the new Instagram followers, and thank you for bearing with us through that story. At least you know, it's kind of fucked up. You don't want to know how you're gonna die,
Yeah.
but now I do.
But it'd be like a slow death, though. What I just described would be like you dying in solitary confinement in a prison.
It's like that scene of the Venture Brothers where Dr. Orpheus goes up to the Action Man and he just holds his wrist for like a minute. He's like, 2 years and 37 days. What? From a stroke. And then he just walks away.
What the fuck?
And then literally years later, like seasons later on the show, that's how the character dies.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. And it's like, oh my god, they brought that shit back. Holy shit.
Wait, David, did you watched Endgame, right?
No, but I know what happens.
Okay, well, did you watch Infinity War then?
No, but I know what happens.
Okay, well, there's a scene where Doctor Strange like literally just goes through like 14 million fucking possibilities.
Oh yeah,
like,
and how many do we win?
Yeah, and it's just like one. And then, it's like, and then David goes up to Doctor Strange and just kind of like, so what you been doing? It's like seeing all the possibilities of which you actually stay on the podcast.
Oh my god.
And then the guy's like, so how many possibilities? 14,605. How many do I still? How many in those am I still in it? He just lifts up his finger.
Well, at least I know that I'm living in the reality where I didn't get canceled. Because of my fucking dumbass co-host. Out here ruining my life.
David, I'm gonna be real with you. Like,
What?
you like one day, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. I hope it. Like, on the real, of course, I wouldn't want that to happen. But at the same time, I think you would probably weather it fine, anyways. But I feel as if even if you did get canceled, I feel as if like the first day you would just kind of like just be putting your head into your hands, just like, oh my fucking god, like, you know, just trying to like not even look at Twitter. And then like the vitriol is gonna last for a couple more days, and then I feel as if after like day 3 or 4, you're just gonna be like, who gives a fuck, and it just goes back. You just go back to your posting like your stuff that you always post, and like, you know, that's just. And then I'm gonna just tell you, like, you know, it's unfortunate, David, that you're not as uncancelable as me, for I am a POC, but
You don't act
You
like
know.
one.
I swear to God, if people actually like,
Well, fuck, now that's gonna get me canceled because I just said, like, do you know what a person of color accent sounds like? That is fucking racist.
David, can I ask something?
No.
Have you
Shut the
ever
fuck up.
gotten
You've been talking
tan?
for like 13 minutes. What?
Have
Yeah.
you ever gotten like tan?
Yes.
Like actually, like not like just beet red like, you know, most of you white people do.
Yeah. It's gotten a little darker.
What's the darkest you've been? In terms of tanning scale wise. Like we're talking charcoal briquette.
Mayhaps a very light, flaky crust. Like a
So you've never been sunburned.
like a toaster strudel. I got plenty of white sauce on the inside.
Yo, what
Plenty
do you
of
think?
icing.
How do you think a girl would feel if, like, let's say she was pretty tan, right? And you're fucking her, and then you pulled out, and then you like just jizzed, like, you know, outside of her pussy, like you pulled out and just like jizzed on like her stomach or something,
Okay.
and you just yelled out like toaster strudel. Like
That reminds me of something. I was once with a woman, right, and she like took the condom off like after I nutted,
yeah,
and we were just talking for a little while afterwards and shit, and
yeah.
no shit, like she was gonna like throw the condom out and stuff like that. She drops the condom open side first directly onto my chest.
Ah!
And I knew it was happening, and I just put my hands in my face, and we just both started dying.
No, that's
I was
great.
laughing so hard.
Oh, that's good.
This is the same
Have a
woman
good
who
laugh
took
about
this,
something like that.
Yeah, this is the same woman who took like a giant swab of it off of her face that one time and asked me if I wanted any. Which, by the way, the answer to that is still no.
What a
I'm not
trooper.
prone to eating my own jizz. I'm not Bear Grylls. I don't drink my own piss for the fuck of it. I'm not. I don't need. I will consume my own bodily fluids when I'm dying in a ditch somewhere, like having to limp my way back from civilization after a long night in Vegas. I'm in the middle of the fucking desert, dying, like fending off the coyote peyotes, just like I do in my actual hometown. I have the whole thing planned out, but I don't know, man. You're talking about me getting canceled. The Smash community never forgets, except for when they do, which is quite often actually. And speaking of,
Have you gotten?
canceled? No. What the fuck? No.
Oh man, you're boring.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm boring for not.
You're
being able
not
to
an interesting individual in 2021 or 2022. I guess I should say, unless you've been canceled at least once.
But most people haven't been canceled.
I feel
That
as if they
implies
should.
that
It
they don't come
spices up,
back.
spices things up.
Oh, you say that now, but then what if it happens to you?
I don't have any social media, and I could just turn off my Twitter. Like turning off my Twitter is like no fucking skin off my bones. And I'll be real with you guys on the Instagram. Like I literally just post a meme a day or two, and every now and then. I just started this now, but every Friday or so, like I'm gonna. David always sends me the thumbnail that we're gonna be using for the episode. And I'm always just going to post up there, essentially, like, just news of the episode coming out and what to expect and, like, some juicy topics mayhaps we may have on the episode for that week.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes, like, that's it. And as soon as that's done, I just turn Instagram off or, like, I sign out of it and just go on Steam and play games.
Yeah, who knows, man? Though
And-
maybe next time you'll actually post the link properly.
Listen, David. Listen. I'm new to this, okay? I'm learning. I am the
Well-
unpaid intern that's just been thrown into the Shark Tank right now.
Well, you want to talk about cancelability and people not forgetting. I guess this is one minor topic that I have. So let's make big moves just happened recently. That was a city in that was a Smash tournament in major Smash tournament that happened in New York this past weekend, and a lot of people dropped out of it because of Omicron, Optimus,
Unicron?
unicorn threesome,
Capricorn? The virus?
Capicola,
It's named after me.
Gabagool.
That's my sign.
Yeah, a lot of people dropped out because of that. My buddy who was supposed to cast the event literally got COVID the day before. The day before. I felt fucking horrible that happened to him. I was not chosen to commentate because I'm irrelevant as shit now. And
Thank you
you-
said
thank
that
you
with
for-
such like realness.
because it's fucking true. I mean, thank you for laughing at that. When I said that same friend who got COVID, he messaged me. He's like, "Listen, mister, you need to stop being so hard on yourself." Like, he was like,
Oh
out of
my
genuine concern. And
God.
see, you can at least laugh at me. Be like, "Yeah, David, nobody fucking
No,
wants you
because
anymore. You fucking
I could also tell like when it's something like really really serious and like when it's
Well-
something that also you're joking about.
Well, I'm joking about it, and I'm serious because I'm not blaming anybody for it.
I know, but it's
I
like you
haven't
still have
casted
that-
a Smash tournament since September.
I know,
mean,
but that's what
you
I'm
don't
saying.
do
You still
something.
have that. You still have that 50% though, is what I'm saying.
Well, now I'm able to actually look back on myself and realize that those things are my fault. I used to be more of a hater in that regard, being like, "Oh, I work too hard, get this," but like I didn't work as hard as a lot of other Smash casters, and they were more dedicated to the craft than I am. And a lot of the things that I got were because of the connections that I had, which happened more naturally. A lot of it was put into perspective recently because of the seminar I listened to with my buddies. A lot of Smash commentators who were doing that, how to stay motivated and this and that, and it really helped me stay grounded. And even a little bit before that, I've just been doing a lot of growing up last year, and it helped me realize a lot of things. Like, I haven't done it in 4 months. You're going to fall off a little bit. People aren't going to think of you if you're not regularly doing something like that. You know what I mean? There's no one to blame but myself. You know what I mean? And, like, it really helps you grow a lot as a person when you realize you can blame yourself for a lot of shortcomings. Just got to be careful with that. Make sure it's, warranted. But, yeah, I wasn't chosen for that event. A lot of people didn't go anyway because of COVID and stuff. And, shout outs to Quid for winning. But the thing with that tournament was ran by my buddy Max Ketchum, who works
Nice
with
name.
EMG. Yeah, it is a pretty good tag. And he prides some of his stuff on being non-esports. you know, he didn't give a shit if you swore on the mic. He let people drink on the mic and shit like that. And it's real, and I like it. It's whatever. That's cool. But some people, a buddy of mine who's another Smashcaster who did not work that event, was originally going to go to it, but then he didn't because I forget. I don't think he tested positive. I think he just didn't change his mind. I don't know the fucking I don't know. But he was worried that, you know, about some of the commentators fucking drinking while doing their shit. And this is sort of an echoing topic of something that I said a couple episodes ago, like a month ago, because we all know what happened in the Smash community in 2020. You know, a lot of people got fucking canceled for being Five Nights
Pedophiles.
Five Nights at Pedos. Yeah. And yeah, so what happened is that, you know, one thing that happened is that a lot of people called for alcohol being banned at events, and here we are about a year and a half later, and you got people drinking on microphones and shit, and getting rowdy and shit on the microphone and all that. And, you know, you could say about that what you want. Some people are afraid of, like, he said he was afraid of, like, advertising or whatever, not liking that. I don't think anything's gonna happen with that regardless. I think it'll be fine. But he wasn't okay with that, and I understand that. I mean, I think some people sort of earn their keep to drink on the mic, or, you know, some people are responsible enough, or community figureheads who you can trust with these kind of things. But then he made a really good point in saying, so were the people who got canceled. You know, they were people who were fucking...
That accountability is a little lost there, then, ain't it?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't just say, like, oh, but, like, it's you. It's this guy. He's an established... he's a good guy. Nothing's gonna... Like, dude, you never fucking know. A lot of people that we thought were great, upstanding individuals wound up sleeping with underage people. So that's not a fucking excuse. So you can have your opinion on that. I don't really care. Frankly, I would love to be able to drink on the microphone, and I'm pissed that I'm not, you know... I'm pissed that I can't do that. But, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, the only thing that bothered me was that it was so many of the exact same, and I'm not trying to go all holier than thou on anybody. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not trying to sit here and be a virtue signaler, because trust me, I hate virtue signalers. But a lot of the exact same people who were crying to say that alcohol should be banned at events were talking about how funny it was and how hype it was that people were getting, like, lit on the microphone and stuff. So you're kind of fake for that, the way that I see it. But,
manufactured outrage.
Yeah.
Guy.
And then you have some people say they understand the dangers around underage drinking at events, but then do not bash the adults who are actually responsible enough and are trying to have a good time. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, I just think it's weird. That mix, you know what I mean? It's like Smash is like something that's so attractive to children, but the Smash community is not children. They are fucking rowdy ass people. And, you know, yeah, you know, personally, you know, sometimes with, like, stuff that happened in the past, I know some people who aren't really gonna risk putting their reputations and the safety of others online, but then if they're trying to get lit, just let them get lit. You know what I mean? Like, that's their attitude towards these things. And I don't know. It just, it's one of those things that really makes me feel like the Smash community is truly just never, ever gonna change. You know what I mean? I don't think it really matters that all that stuff happened in 2020. You know, people are gonna be fine, you know, with these kind of alcohol at events and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm no expert in this. I'm not a tournament organizer. I would never be a tournament organizer for the fucking Smash community. That's the most thankless job imaginable. But, I don't know. It was just something that was on my mind recently because I saw some people talking about it, because, like, it was on my mind, but frankly, I didn't really want to say anything about it because I thought I would get clowned on. And but as David, we all know, as we just learned, I'm very scared of getting canceled. I've done horrible shit.
But David, on the real though, that is a skill, in my opinion, that's very much missing from a lot of people. Not even just in your guys' community, but at the same time in anyone else's community, no matter where you look or go. Knowing when to speak and knowing when not to speak is a skill that a lot of people simply do not have.
Oh, yeah.
And there are times, yeah, like when you feel, if you feel as if, like, yeah, like you should obviously speak up, say something, like if it also applies to you, or if it's something you feel strongly about, yeah, go ahead. But I think the circumstances in which, like, a lot of times that may happen is, in my personal opinion, very few and far between. And maybe my whole, I guess, way of going about this is maybe perhaps a bit perplexing to some, but a lot of times whenever, let's say, I hear a lot of people have differing opinions than I do about anything, right? And let's say in your case, like, you know, if I was a part of you guys' community and like I heard that a lot of homies like they'd be getting lit with tequila while casting, and it's so weird. Like I'm not that I've been a part of, I guess, a lot of communities. I usually just kind of like I've always been like kind of a ghost within a lot of my communities.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm there, but no one sees me. I don't interact with anybody. I just kind of observe, I guess. Oh yeah, I guess that would be a better word. Yeah, I usually just am an observer when it comes to a lot of my communities. But like, maybe I guess it's also because like I know how involved or how used to be involved like you were within the Smash community,
right.
But like I always kind of I can't help but do this, but like, I always compare like you guys to a lot of other communities, like gaming communities, like for like certain games that everyone would know,
And it's
like,
different, right?
It's if I was to sum it up in one word, it's a little more immature than a lot of others that I've seen, and
Yeah.
it's kind of funny considering like I've seen League, Dota, Counter-Strike, Fortnite even, and I see a lot of those guys. Like you'd honestly think like these guys like minus even the players, like the casters that they get for the most part, like from what I've seen, like I can't really say that they're exceptional. Like, and if anyone out there like can, I guess has a favorite caster for a lot of these events for any of those communities, like I guess sure, let me know, and like perhaps like I'll check them out. But it's like the worst thing that I've heard like games like Overwatch be in the news for is that like there was that one Chinese player, remember, who essentially got not canceled, but he
set
basically
free Hong
was,
Kong, and then
exactly.
The government canceled him.
Yeah, and then Blizzard did nothing about it because why would they? Because they're all about that
tongue deep in corporate China, asshole.
Not even corporate China, the CCP, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he got his prize money back when the outrage was really that severe. Because even the casters who had said nothing about it, they got fired for that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Them too as well.
That hit home for me, obviously, because I'll be like, okay, what if I can't cast anymore just because this guy said this, and then fucking corporate bootlicking overlords. It's so funny how that's true. Like for them, it's like it's the company that's mad weird, and like for the Smash community, it's the opposite. You know what I mean?
Nintendo don't give a shit.
Because Nintendo is the one who like puts their hands up and they're like, like they're not the one doing that weird ass shit. I don't know. It's complicated. My brain is fogged.
And obviously, like it's kind of hard to like compare apples and oranges for a lot of communities. But I think in summary, it's like David. I think what you did before by not speaking is a good thing. Trust me. Don't let anyone ever tell you. People have gotten arrested, shot, and a bunch of other shit for saying real stupid shit that they probably should not have said, period. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but like obviously the repercussions for like, so let's say you speaking up against something like that, or speaking with or for or against like, what happened for that event, it is obviously not the same at all. But what I'm saying is at least like, it's a good life skill to have. Trust me. Like, I probably would also.
I mean, I
know.
I usually keep my mouth shut on most things most of the time. Most of the time,
I don't know, man. You go off the handle a little bit on Twitter. Like a lot of vitriol and hatred. They're like, David, I'm gonna be real with you. Like on my feed, right? I don't follow too many people. Like I think I follow my sister because she also has like a Twitter. No, I'm not giving that out. But like,
darn,
dude, as soon as I just read your like one tweet from you, I'm like, all right, that's enough Twitter for the day, and I just exit out of Twitter.
I don't know, man. I don't mean to. I don't.
No. I'm not. No, dude. I'm not giving you shit for it. I'm just saying though, like you're the most amount. Like you are Twitter in microcosm. Like I cannot. Like I barely could stand Twitter, and I hate the interface. I hate all these stupid fucking like. I hate the whole layout of Twitter
literally
in
designed
general.
to be addictive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it just drives me nuts because like I was coming off the back of Facebook for a while, and like obviously I don't got a Facebook no more, but like Facebook and Twitter follow, I believe, the same, not algorithm, but I guess like the same formula in which to keep people like glued to the screen, and for Twitter too, like it's just like a constant bombardment of like like trending news, see who died. Oh my god, there was a recent Bob Saget. Yeah, he fucking he kicked the bucket like thing literally I think yesterday.
He did.
I felt and I felt bad for this part too because he was fucking 65. The dude was still a kid, for fuck's sake, as far as old people are concerned. Like only because like I've seen people literally cross through like the 80 line, the 90 line. And we even heard Betty White, like when did she die? Like at the age of
99.
99.
She's turning 100.
Oh yeah, before her 100th birthday. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And like, people have no idea like what the fuck was going on with him. I personally wish like the news and everyone kind of keep out of that because like for the family's sake, it's like, like if you paparazzi fuckers like thing had any shred of decency, like just leave the fucking family alone.
Yeah.
Like let them.
They don't even know how he died yet.
Yeah, exactly. They just found him in the fucking hotel bedroom, I think,
yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, and even like some celebrity deaths like were kind of past my time, but when I found out about them like years later, like it just made me like. It made me feel a bit sad because James Gandolfini, who obviously everyone knows as Tony Soprano, he died like at 50 something. He had a lot of problems too because it was pretty public. Like the guy was had a very troubled life before and even during stardom, and then there was also like there was a lot of celebrity deaths. Now that I realize it. For the last like couple months, even from last year, like there was a Korean actress. She died at 29, and usually when people hear about like K-pop stars or even Korean actresses or actors basically dying that young, it's usually ruled as suicide. And over in the States, like stuff like that is very much kind of taken seriously, but over in at least East Asia, they're starting to kind of like understand how important people who have like, let's say, depression and a lot of like almost like shit that would lead to suicide, like when they have stuff like that, like it's supposed to be taken seriously.
Yeah, mental health just not really a thing over there.
Not as much as you'd as people believe it is over here, because at the very least, like we have like they have hotlines and shit too, like kind of how we do, but like I always feel like hotlines, not that I've ever had to call one, and I don't know if anyone in our audience had to call one, God forbid, but like a lot of I feel as if let's say state bodies like all honestly just feel like like if we just have that and that's it, like we don't need nothing else. But like we have therapy and a lot of like things in place from the government that you can use to like get help for that kind of stuff. But like I don't know if anyone's ever had to pay for a therapist, but they ain't cheap.
No.
For the most part.
Everybody had access to a therapist, man. The world would be such a better place.
Yeah.
Except for the therapist.
Yeah.
It would be a lot harder for them.
And you cannot date a therapist.
But they'd be making bank.
They would be. There was actually...
They already do make bank.
Yeah. Like, there was a thing... there was one character in the Sopranos, and she was a major character towards until, like, the last couple episodes of the show. And she was a therapist who Tony was going to see...
Yeah.
To basically help
with
with
the theme
his
of the show.
depression.
Didn't they end every episode with like just his therapy session with her?
It wasn't always ending with it. A lot of times, like the conversations they would have would essentially be like a central part of the plot for that episode. And there was finally, I guess, spoilers to all of you who are watching The Sopranos like fucking 15 years later, but there was an episode towards the end where she finally cuts him off and just says like, I cannot treat you anymore. and
Really?
yeah, because like she just realized like he's a completely lost cause. And there was even this interesting article that she was reading, and I think it's actually a bit of a real paper, in that criminals who seek out psychiatric help basically do not use it to better themselves, but use it to better themselves as a criminal. They're basically using their advice to become a better criminal, so to speak. And I remember also too, like, and remember, guys, like The Sopranos like takes place around like early 2000s, before 2010s, essentially. So this was like during 9/11 and all those like years. And I believe she mentioned like his bill for their session, and I was just like, oh my god, it's like I just can't believe like how much like money she's charging. And I mean, look, this is getting into that whole like what big medicine is like here in this country. And I don't know, I like the thought of, kind of shame to say it, like the thought of like people basically privatizing. And I mean, like, therapists are, I guess, already like a private practice, I suppose, but like hearing therapists like charging people, let's say like $1,200 per hour for a session, and then like imagine just like how much money that one therapist like would have. It's kind of nuts if you think about it. And I mean, like, people can, I guess the good therapist could also go on to say that like, oh, like, you know, like going off the record, it's like I have helped treat a lot of people, but you know, there's also a lot of patients who are like they're like patients that are never even going to be leaving, you know, like people who are essentially on suicide watch.
Right.
And in the show as well, like her name was Dr. Melfi. She's I know. Dr. Melfi.
What
But
was she?
well, I mean, the actress who played in Goodfellas, she was oh my god, I can't with names today. It was the main guy's wife.
Right.
Lorraine Bracco was the actress's name. Yeah, she was the one that was basically going on the intercom and saying like, you know, Suzanne's a hoa. She's a hoa, like, you know, to all the people within the building.
I remember that.
Yeah. So this is her like pushing, I think by that time, like maybe late 50s to 60s. She's very milfy in the show, and I was thinking in my head like, you know, she threw me a bone. I'd take it. And
Right.
Tony like really lusts after her too. And I don't know. It like at least we could talk about how like Asia is pretty bad with mental health over there, but I think we're still kind of bad with it here, though. No?
Yeah. You know, I'm blessed that I get the privilege to go see a therapist. I've seen mine for years, and I guess it's helped me a lot more than I'm even like maybe willing to admit. But like, can't help but just imagine how much better things would be if everybody could, man. You know, mental health, you know, we want to say it's taken seriously, but it's not taken seriously by the system. You know, things don't get like charged for that. Like some companies are offering that kind of services now and stuff like that. But it's just another one of those things that I feel like is never gonna change unless there's some sort of magical systemic change. And frankly, I don't know if that's going to happen with either political party, considering that the Democrats' platform is still literally just vote or die.
Yeah.
You know that's what Michelle Obama said recently, right?
It's a lot of doomsday.
Literally, it's the same fucking thing that they've been doing for years. They're saying like vote like the future of democracy depends
vote for your children.
For it. Vote for your children. Like the whole fucking thing. It's like I'm like so sick of their entire platform just being we're not Trump. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the only reason that whole platform of we're not Trump worked in 2020 was because unlike 2016, America actually went through 4 years of this guy and the country literally almost fell apart.
And it even goes to say, too, like, they wouldn't even have that platform either with Trump. I even think Democrats should even be thankful for Trump just in that case. But,
well,
and I mean,
I'm not
it was a
telling-
bit of... No. I'm just saying though, at least like for them, it was an effective tool, but it's gonna lose its luster.
It already
Like,
is.
It already is, yeah.
It
Because
literally
like,
already is, man. Like, why are you just fucking threatening us? Why is your whole fucking thing just fucking threats? You know what I mean? You literally, you have the presidency, the House, this is the time to make the change. You haven't fucking done dick to any of the
because of one guy.
fucking systemic stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say that Biden, like, they undid a lot of stuff that
No,
Trump
not even-
did. You know, they put us back in the climate accord, among other things. You know, like, things have opened up a little bit more because of the vaccine, so people were working again and stuff like that. Which, I don't know if you follow Biden on Twitter. That's all his fucking account is bragging about how much better the employment rate is now since he took office. As if, you know, there wasn't a vaccine that came out for this thing at, like, the same time that he went in. And I'm not telling people to, like, lean right of the spectrum or something like that. I lean a little left, and I guess I could consider myself more of a centrist. But the thing is, like, all the shit that they promised or the stuff that people are complaining about, I just don't think a presidency is gonna change that. You know what I mean? It's like, this is actual just systemic stuff that's wrong with the country, and the mental health thing just reminds me of that. And the reason this is on my mind is because, again, Michelle Obama basically made some sort of speech or whatever, or CNN article, all that good shit. Of basically saying just vote like the future of democracy and depends on it as far as the midterm elections go. And, like, literally, you have, like, so many of the branches. Like, they don't have the Supreme Court, but they have the House, the fucking presidency, and they also have the Senate, do they not?
They do, but the thing is though, there is one guy in there that's a bit of an obstructionist, and he's a Democrat.
Oh, I
Joe
know.
Manchin.
Yeah, I know Joe Manchin. I've been hearing about his name a lot. But, you know, it's just still, like, the fact that still so much can't get done when all that happens, and yet that they turn to us and they say it's our fault. We voted. We did the thing. And I'm not saying I wouldn't have preferred this going this way. I think the country would look insanely fucking different if Trump got a second term. If I'm being honest, I thank God every day that we're not living in the reality that happened, if we're being frank. And I kind of agree with Joe Rogan's point that if Donald Trump were to run again and they put somebody like Michelle Obama up against him, I want to say that Michelle Obama would destroy him, but I still don't know if America's ready to elect a woman. That's a whole different conversation. That's part of the reason that I think Hillary didn't win in 2016. I'm going to be real. I think it's also because she was a woman, among other things. But yeah, don't you think it's dumb that their whole platform is still just so fucking fear-based? Like,
it's always gonna be like that though, because at the very least, even if we look back historically, it was almost the same way. I mean, not as much as like obviously the fear mongering wasn't as crazy as it is like thing today, but it was always there. Even when like this country like was at its very much its infant years, when guys like Adams and fucking Jefferson were going at it, like they also like were throwing smear campaigns in the newspapers. They had whole newspapers that were like perfectly, like they were like completely aligned with their agenda. All these guys were in the back pockets, just like how newspaper companies are in the back pockets of plenty of guys even nowadays. Except it's not really too much politicians, but more so a lot of like corporate media moguls and a lot of them.
Yeah, lobbyists.
And lobbyists, yeah, of course. And I personally feel though, like, try not to get too political today, but I guess just some, but just some of my thoughts on it is that like, I don't think Michelle's is the gal. I don't think she the gal.
They're not putting the AOC up, dude.
No, I know they ain't. They're not ready for that. But the fact is that even now, 4 years, or I guess now 8 years later, or it's gonna be 8 years later, America still ain't ready for a female president. I don't think they're truly ready for it, in my opinion.
Put up Oprah.
You know, to be fair, look, if
that way she can own everything.
Dude, can you imagine Oprah like just handing out free shit like at her rallies, like how she always did in her show? It like honestly, like I mean, most rallies you get free shit anyways. Like, but like this like lady is literally willing to give you a Toyota Camry. Like, you get a Camry, you get a Camry.
I was about to say, bro, this bitch got the Dalai Lama on speed dial, bro. Like, she's gonna be giving out some prime shit at them rallies, bro. And she's gonna give me a car, you know. I'll vote for you, Oprah. I'll do it, you know. I'll fucking climb that ladder.
People like have to.
That's
also
a big
realize,
mountain to climb,
like,
my dudes.
The politics game is and always will be a dirty business. monetarily wise, politically wise, and even publicly wise, it is a very dirty.
But just
business.
aren't you sick of the cycle of Republicans get power, they make every fucking thing worse, and then Democrats take it back from them, and then they literally don't do anything?
Can I be real with you?
You know what I mean? That's the cycle.
No, I know that's a cycle, and that's the reason why. Like this next thing I'm about to say, like remember that one episode from South Park where it was like that Ocean's 13 like fucking parody, and it's like Obama, Hillary, and
Yeah.
and I think a couple of them, like they were like
The whole Obama McCain election was just a front, you know.
Like even the whole politics game in general was just like a complete sham. Like this shit's already been premeditated in the back room years ahead of like years before, and everything is already planned out. And personally for me, like I know for a fact, like a lot of these guys that we know today, a lot of the famous ones at least, minus a couple others, don't really have any true convictions, because their main conviction a lot of times is money. Like if we're being perfectly real right now, I don't think a lot of them really give too much of a fuck about what they talk about on the Senate floor or in the House. I really don't think they give too much of a flying fuck, because for a lot of times they only saying it because they're getting paid, from the curtain from these lobbyists. Like, Michelle Obama could like say whatever the hell she wants, like, and I'll care just as much as I cared when she was first lady. I won't. But and same for a lot of these other guys
She
too.
couldn't even get kids to eat their vegetables.
Dude, that's never gonna happen. I barely like broccoli, and I need Chinese food to help me eat broccoli.
Like, I need to fucking get swollen. Michelle Obama couldn't even do that. Thanks, Obama.
Like, I have to be real with, like, David. I know a lot of people out in our audience, like, definitely are, let's say, I'd like to assume pretty fairly politically minded. But
What? Are you stupid?
What?
They're like a bunch of fucking kids. They're like, 25 to like the 18
Oh, the people
range.
that we know.
Well, the people that we know specifically. If you're talking
Like,
about
let's
the
even
general
say, like,
audience.
Oh, I mean, yeah, okay, fine. But, like, I mean, a lot of them are, like, even, like, it was so
They're busy
funny.
playing
Like,
League of Legends and like screaming obscenities into the fucking voice chat
Like-
and all that kind of stuff. They don't
like
care
David.
about Michelle Obama trying
But
to
David,
shove
but
broccoli
David.
down their throat. They're trying to
David.
shove their metaphorical
David,
dick.
hold up. The thing is, though, remember back in the day, right? We couldn't give a fuck about politics. When we were, like, let's say around the Xbox Live, like, Halo days, we couldn't give a fuck about who was president.
Yeah, because life
We
is
didn't
good.
give a
I
fuck.
live in a house for
It-
free,
oh,
and
Whoa. We didn't care for the debates. We didn't care for the elections. I had no idea who the fuck John Kerry was, but everyone's saying he was the devil, so I was like, okay, whatever. I guess this guy sucks then. No one actually gave a shit. Now I'm even hearing and these are a lot of like really dumbass white kids though. Like hearing a lot of these kids like coming just out of high school, like raving about like MAGA and shit. It's like, Bill, what the fuck? Like, go play some CS:GO and like don't talk about politics.
I was about to say,
The
like,
fuck you-
bro, go do your fucking homework.
Yeah.
Like,
Go help your mom do the dishes.
shut
You
the
fucking
fuck
idiot.
up. Like, you remember that dumbass
Yeah.
thing? Just like, oh, if you fall in love with two people, you should
Yeah.
go for the
Like-
second, because if you really loved the first, you wouldn't have fallen for the second. It's like, oh my god, bitch, you're 12.
This is
You're 12.
how invasive this shit has become over the last couple of years, in my opinion. Because I remember when I was a kid, I didn't give no one gave a flying fuck about politics, period.
Yeah.
And now I'm literally hearing people getting just into high school or about to leave. I guess when you're in college, it starts to really like set in for you, like just how shitty everything is. I suppose, like, and I guess even in the political sphere as well. But like when you're in high school, like, no one could give less of a fuck. I'm just trying to get through these 4 years so I don't have to fucking see these people anymore.
You can thank social media for that. I mean, it's literally
That too,
it's literally
yeah.
a propaganda machine, and kids spend
Yeah.
more time on that shit than anyone. So
Yeah.
one of the
And-
many, many reasons I feel like children should not be allowed on social media. I
Yeah.
feel like it should be strictly for adults. But
Like,
that's
you gotta send in your social security number, and they gotta see if you're old enough to like go and be on Twitter.
yeah.
It's like, oh, you're 17. Sorry, kid, you can't be. You're too short to get on this ride. It's like next.
Exactly, but like there's no way
Yeah.
around that. It's the internet, man. Like their kids will find some sort of way to work around it or some I mean, maybe maybe there could be like some sort of like private thing or something like that, where like, I mean, like in order for that to even happen, like kids would need like a VPN or some shit. Like, I feel like teenagers would adapt to that, but I don't know if it would happen on like a grand enough scale to the point where they want to have like social media just that bad. But at the same time, it's like, you know, the internet is just this free and open source thing. It's supposed to be this like freedom of speech kind of thing. So the only thing that could happen is if parents, you know, became more responsible with what their kids were doing online.
And that ain't gonna
and
happen.
God knows that shit's not gonna happen, man. Too many parents use like fucking YouTube as like their babysitter and shit like that for kids, you know, looking up beheading videos and stuff and finding little
ISIS beheading videos.
I remember
those.
porn that they got in the back
Jesus
corners
Christ.
of YouTube that's still there. All sorts of dumb shit, but whatever.
Yeah.
I guess speaking of adults,
Well, David, I just wanted to get your opinion. Like, even let's say, you think that whole like giving a fuck about politics just gets stronger as you get older?
nah, I think it gets
Personally,
weaker.
for me, sorry. Like, do you think you like, let's say, giving a fuck about politics just gets stronger like as the years go on? Because I think personally, for
No.
me, like I've given less of a shit
Yeah, same.
than I ever have.
Same. I give enough of a shit that I have to without it deterring to my mental health. I'm not one of those people who like spends like all live long day and all live long night, you know, just ranting about, you know, frankly political shit that they can't change. If anything, what I rant about on Twitter is NFTs and how fucking stupid they are. Like the NFT platform fighter that exists that literally does not even have animations on their characters and has like Lilac Cruz as like one of the main stage layouts. It's disgusting. I barfed all over my keyboard when I saw it, and I don't want to have to pay additional money repeatedly for a character that I have in a fucking video game. I bought the game. I'm gonna fucking play it. That's all it should be. Not everything has to be crypto, you fucking virgin. How about you crypt on some bitches?
Oh, Square Enix also. Did you hear about their news?
I don't want to talk about it.
So you heard.
I don't even want to fucking talk about it, man. Like, that article was the cringiest thing. He literally cited it as, like, people, like, what about the people who want to contribute more to the game's development? Like, he's literally, like, trying to make it sound like they're victims and that the game is gonna suffer if they don't have people continuously paying for additional content in it, ludicrous amounts of money because it's an NFT. Like, dude, you already made a ton of money from selling the fucking game. Not everything has to be crypto, asshole. Like, literally, it would have been so much more honorable if you just admitted these things are gonna make us fucking wealthy as shit. That's why we're putting them in our games. Like, I'm literally not gonna play Final Fantasy VII Remake now. I'm not. I'm sorry. That's how strong I feel about that shit.
I personally, I'm still gonna be playing it, but I feel as if like going forward now, like even just imagining like Kingdom Hearts, like the next Kingdom Hearts.
I hope that game fucking flops so
Oh my
unbelievably hard like it deserves to. Because first of all, Kingdom Hearts 3 was legitimately not even good. Second, I'm
only saying it just because I have that bias. I waited fucking 15 years for this fucking game.
yeah,
Like,
that's why it sucked.
It's maybe so.
Yeah,
but
if Kingdom Hearts came out nowadays, it would get memed on to shit. In the days of
True,
social
true.
media, they'd be
But-
like combining Disney and anime. What the
But
fuck?
the thing is, if the first
yeah,
game
it's
came out
fucking
nowadays,
gay.
yeah. If the first game came out nowadays, yeah, it would definitely be like, you know, everyone would be like, oh, okay, like low-key fighting Goofy, like what is this that I'm watching right now? Thor beating the shit out of Donald, like just having that image.
Speaketh not ill of Natalie Portman.
But
I don't know how to do a Donald Duck impression, but if I did,
I don't think-
I would
I
say
know-
Natalie Portman's a bitch in Donald Duck's voice. If someone can make that happen for me,
I know
send it
two
to us
people-
at the Double D Experience 21 on Instagram.
I know two people who could do a pretty decent Donald voice. I have tried so many times.
I can't
do it. I could do a good Goofy. I could do a Mickey, but out of the three, I just can't.
Why
do that one.
damn think Ragnarok was that good?
Endgame was kind of cringe.
You with the floppy ears. Come here. Can I help you, sir? Go!
It's like that one scene from Ragnarok when like Thor's like, "Oh, I can't," but he can, and then instead just Goofy just like erupts out of the fucking building.
Oh Lord. Well,
Man, I feel bad. Like, it's fucking Square Enix. Like, I know your games are like low key on the weeby cringy
dude,
side, but like 7, I'm still gonna fucking play.
Final
7.
Fantasy VII, bro. A game that's literally about corporations not giving a shit about the planet at the expense of profits.
Oh my god, you're right.
The company that made that game is now trying to fucking put NFTs in every video game, and they're hoping that the rest of the industry follows that practice.
But I feel as if the pushback that everyone's been getting is kind of it's still significant.
Well, you're never gonna guess who's like sort of on the NFT train now, and when I tell you, I'm gonna be real, you're gonna want to kill yourself.
Tell me.
Rob Paulson.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Rob Paulson, like the voice of Yakko Warner and Carl Weezer. Straight up, like he's literally getting like dogged on Twitter for it because he's like involved in some shitty project. I don't even want to say like the name of it. And the reason he's involved in it is like I don't even think he's involved in it, but Tara Strong is, because Tara Strong is actually like fully into NFTs, which is not even a little bit surprising. That's not even a little bit. Dude, Tara Strong's a moron. Like she's like a straight up like radical neoliberal dude. I'm not even the least bit surprised.
Weren't you pining for this woman?
Well, yeah, she's hot, but that doesn't mean I, like, respect her fucking views on shit.
Just, like, you fuck her, and, like, you're both in that post-coital glow, and, like, she just goes, like, so, yeah, let me talk to you about NFTs, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah, like, literally, like, this movie is, like, it's some dumbass movie that's trying to fund itself one frame at a time via fucking NFTs and blockchains. Like, they're literally making individual monies off the individual frames of the fucking movie. That's what they're trying to do. And somehow, some way, they got Rob Paulson to talk with them on some sort of podcast about this. And they apparently postponed it as of recently. And I'm not saying the name of it because I don't want to promote them. They decided to postpone it by saying criticism and disagreement are more than okay, but hateful attacks and personal threats are not. We look forward to chatting with Rob at a later date when comfortable. Triple hearts. Like, nobody was attacking them. Literally just everybody in the comments were like, Rob, please don't do this. NFTs are fucking stupid. Like, nobody was threatening him unless they were DMing him. So straight up. But yeah, and like he was like, even Rob was like, oh, so much for like helpful discussion and stuff.
Oh,
it's
my
like
God.
so bad. And I don't even think he himself is into this. It's just like, you know, he has like a bunch of his friends in the industry who are, like Tara Strong, who I think is involved in this project, which again, just disappointed but not surprised to find out that she's into NFTs, you know. But she said, while I appreciate the opportunity Blank has given me to discuss their project, it's clear that I need to educate myself on NFTs so that I can have cogent, respectful conversation. Many of you have been very kind in suggesting I learn more and appreciate your patience. So I'm happy that he's at least open to hearing why they're bad. But at the same time, it's just like, bro, it just makes me want to barf. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to pay for, like, you know, like, additional materia in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. I don't want to have to bid on that shit just so I can use it that somebody else owns it and pretending it's going towards the project. It's going into the fucking CEO of Square Enix's pocket. I cannot believe that dude wrote like a whole fucking entire essay on here's why you should make me more rich for no reason. Like, I'm not kidding when I say that that was probably one of the cringiest things I've ever read when he said that, like, oh, what about the poor people who can't contribute to the project further? Like,
okay,
I need to pull
wait.
this up. Hold up.
Oh, and then, as you're doing that, David, personally for me, like, maybe another route they may go is that maybe they'll be investing in a lot of that blockchain and NFT stuff into a lot of their mobile games. Because Square Enix does have, believe it or not, a lot of mobile games. I feel as if I believe guys like Tetsuya Nomura that have been with Square for since forever now at this point. I feel as if they'll probably say, go fuck yourself if you're going to be trying to put this shit into my game. Because Nomura is kind of up there with Kojima in the sense that they took care of their works, like, very much so. Kojima basically said, go fuck yourself to Konami. And basically said, like, I'm going to make my own game studio. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
and made Death Stranding, which is I mean, not the best game, but man still can make a game. He's very experienced,
Look,
as we all know. But
it's just such bullshit, man. I mean, like, one of his excuses was that these hold the potential to enable self-sustaining game growth.
that's bullshit. When you already have shit like DLC as well.
Listen. I don't know. I don't know about that. Because think about all the games that, like, think about all the games that had insane legacies and, like, great self-sustaining growth, and stuff like Super Mario, Sonic
But those
the
years are
Hedgehog,
over. I'm talking
Legend
about
of
like nowadays,
Zelda,
though.
Pokemon, Crash Bandicoot,
Even
Call
Pokemon
of
still gets
Duty.
DLCs.
Oh, what else do we got? Splatoon, all those games that, people still love in today. Like, how would those games have survived without NFTs, Dennis? Without constant money being pumped into them like that? Huh? You think
Okay,
Mario
well,
64 would be a relevant game
I'm
if you didn't
speaking
have to bid on the
primarily-
blocks?
I'm speaking primarily though for like there were other ways to receive monetization.
I'm
even
being
after-
sarcastic! You fucking idiot!
What?
I was being sarcastic!
Well, I'm not.
Because
Listen
those
to me.
fucking games have nothing to do with NFTs. You don't need them to fucking have self-sustaining game growth. It was Final Fantasy VII. People are gonna fucking buy it anyway, and it's gonna be a huge success.
That's why I'm saying though, people like at least these guys are real out of touch in that sense because this whole thing hasn't even been fully implemented anywhere yet. Like actually implemented. Like it hasn't even been a single game. Like there was even one guy I think on Steam he tried to throw in NFTs into his game.
Yeah.
And people review bombed the shit out of it. He actually
also
took it off the
also
he
illegal.
took it off the Steam store.
Also illegal
Yes, and
on
it-
Steam because Steam
Yes, it was
straight up
against
banned them.
it was against Valve's user agreement with game developers.
Yeah.
It was against that. And I know like it looks as if like I'm as dull like thick-headed as a fucking post right now, but I'm agreeing with you, David. I'm not disagreeing with you. And that's why I'm thinking too like it's just like maybe if they just throw this shit into the mobile games and keep that shit out of everything else, then I'll be fine with that because I don't give a fuck about mobile games. But like David, I feel as if like you would renounce your love for Nintendo if they ever threw this shit into their games.
They're the one company who I honestly think will never do it.
I think that too, but I'm saying in like an alternate universe, can you imagine? Like, can you imagine? Like, I'll even say this: like most of Nintendo's like sales have always been good consistently. For a lot of their games, on average, like they do pretty well, like sales wise. Can you imagine like the first NFT driven Nintendo game? Let it even be a Mario game, right?
Uh-huh.
Let that be the one game that just serves as like the black mark on an otherwise perfect record. I feel as if that would send a clear message to at least anyone that, okay, maybe this thing isn't the most lovable thing in gaming right now. Like maybe we shouldn't throw this into, AAA titles essentially. Like this whole conversation too is like kind of getting me like hungry.
It's getting you hungry.
I'm getting like hangry right now. And I'm gonna just throw my 2 cents in. I personally feel if they keep this shit out of our AAA titles, I would not give a flying fuck about it. If they throw this into like those like whatever games like Angry Birds and shit, like, oh, you got a perfect record on this map. Here's an NFT that is worth nothing. Like,
Bro.
hold on to that. Make sure no one copies and pastes it. If they do it for like games like that, I wouldn't give a flying fuck. Because NFTs, no matter what your knowledge is on them, if it is vast or not, like even just hearing it and hear anyone talk about it just makes you go like, this sounds like a Ponzi scheme. And yeah, that's my 2 cents. If they keep this shit out of our AAA games, like I would be so mad if this shit was in Ghost of Tsushima. Like, oh, you need to buy this NFT to get this fucking sword? Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's like they're just trying to like make a way where they can see it as like printing money, which is all it
If
is.
they
Them.
wa-
It's them making additional money for
and the-
no additional content.
And if they want to do that, then just do it for fucking mobile games then. believe it or not, for a lot of these companies, especially even Nintendo, they even have their own mobile games, Pokemon Go and such, and a lot of others as well. Square Enix has plenty of them. If you want money off of these things, then just do it through those. Because it's kind of a shame to say, like, a lot of these companies nowadays, like, their main money makers, right now at least, are not AAA titles. Those are not the big money makers for a lot of these like game companies. It's mobile games. And I'll even go on to say that mobile games are the reason why that a lot of like these companies even have the vast budgets that they do for their AAA titles. And it's just also one of those parts of the company that I guess if people can kind of just acknowledge that it's there, but just also not look at it, it's like going to be one of those things, then fine. But I usually don't type shit when it comes to stuff like this. But like, if they ever bring that shit into fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake before it's even finished, I will literally go ballistic. Like, I'll probably have an aneurysm. Like, I'll make that as a vow right there. But personally, for me, if like you do it for mobile games, then fuck it, whatever. I don't care. But you keep that shit away from everything else, because I don't want to see that shit.
Literally, what is wrong with this game looks nice. I want to play this game. Purchase game. Play game. Have fucking fun. What was wrong with that? There was nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's just like the whole thing about users wanting to contribute to the project, self-sustaining. I'm contributing to your fucking company by buying your product, you prick. The only thing I would be contributing more of, if you want to like start like charging for individual items in the game and stuff like that, is what was it? It was either Reggie or Miyamoto who said like the whole thing about like selling half a game and then buying the rest of it later, all that shit, and just lining your pockets for literally zero additional content, probably at the expense of your developers who aren't even going to be seeing this any sense for that money. Like, I just don't like.
It's not the way of the future, guys, in my opinion.
It's literally
That's also
not because it's not sustainable. The entire thing about NFTs is that people, like, claim they're great because they're decentralized and anybody can make this kind of money, yet all you need to do is, like, take somebody's password and you're in the blockchain, and then you can steal all their fucking NFTs, and then they, like, $20,000s of dollars that they're just gonna fucking lose for being in there. It's like literally everybody who's involved in NFTs are libertarians who every single time they lose their shit, they're slowly learning why we have these fucking regulations in the first place. That's the thing. It's like, it's so fucking funny to see them all of a sudden be like, wow, I can't believe somebody could just come in. It's because you see it all the time in like the fucking crypto and the NFT community. Like, they steal each other's shit all the time, as well as the art that they use to fucking make them. And then as soon as
the Wild West out there,
exactly,
literally.
like, and then as soon as they lose their shit, they're like, no security, I can't get in touch with the company, I don't know what to do and everything. And all I can think of is like looking at their profile pictures, that NFT, I'll be like, yo, bro, that sucks, but I think you need to change your profile picture now. It's the only thing I can think of. You know, and it's like, that goes to show that those things aren't bullshit. I don't know what the fuck is. And I gotta say, in video games, it's completely different. Because in video games, it's basically just an advanced, shitty form of, like, gacha gaming and, like, you know, downloadable content. It's not the same thing as, like, those shitty AI pixel art that people pretend has value by, like, creating alternate accounts and buying their own fucking, you know, art over and over and over to build the hype over it, sell it to some dumbass, like some rich dumbass, and then just back the fuck out when they get their money. That's a little different, and to be honest, I think when NFTs start getting taxed, that's actually going to die out. But I worry for the future of the gaming industry, because I really worry about other companies picking up these kinds of practices, because if they do, I honestly think the format is lost. It's just gonna fucking suck so hard, you know, like, how do I phrase this? You know, I mean, the president of Square Enix thinks it's gonna see this meaningful transition, and I know they're all in on this. He says, I see 2021 not only as Metaverse Year 1, but also as NFTs Year 1, given that it was a year in which NFTs were met with a great deal of enthusiasm, blah, 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 you know. With the value of each
for about 2 weeks, and then people realize that, oh, this is fucking stupid.
Content corrected to their true estimated, but there's still way too many people who are into them, and I look for them to become as familiar in dealings as physical goods. Hold on a second.
Also known as, give us money, please. More money than you're already giving us. More money, please. Why can't you just say that, literally?
If they were honest about it, you know
Right?
what I mean? But they're not. Lastly,
They also
is
can never be,
blockchain
too.
Games. Be they single player
Yeah.
or online games, games have traditionally involved an unidirectional flow whereby creators such as ourselves provide a game to the consumers that play them. By contrast, blockchain games, which have emerged from their infancy and are at this very moment entering a growth phase, are built upon the premise of a token economy and therefore hold the potential to enable self-sustaining game growth. This is what I'm talking about. Did you need to contribute that extra shit to enjoy Mario 64? No, you paid for the game, you enjoyed it, and it's still one of the most played games in the world. It's like the #1 speedrunning game to this day.
Oh, yeah.
It had a great fucking remake for the DS. You don't need that. Like, why? You don't need any of that shit to ensure your game's a success, and if you do, it means your game's fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
That just means the game's itself's not good enough. The driver that most enables such self-sustaining game growth is diversity, both in how people engage with interactive content like games and in their motivations for doing so. Advances in token economies will likely add further momentum to this trend of diversification. See, that's another thing about them that makes me sick, is they're trying to attract people to play their games in the guise that, like, hey, if you get our game, you can make money for no reason too. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what Web3 is, as far as, like, the NFT bros are concerned. To them, it's like Web 2.0 is like it's possible to make money on the internet now because you can sell things on the internet. There's websites like Amazon and stuff. What they're trying to make Web 3 is that they're literally trying to make it so the entire purpose of the internet is making money. And that makes me sick. That just brings out the worst in people. You know, that brings out their inner greed. When I buy a game, I'm not thinking, how the fuck can I profit off of this and make, a ton of money in my crypto bullshit, Mario penis dollars by playing this game. Like, no. Like, I just wanted to buy Final Fantasy VII and enjoy it for what it is, for the marvel of gaming that it is. But now I'm uncomfortable even doing that, even supporting this company, because they're trying to make it about the very thing that the plot of the game is fighting against. And it's just like, it's so fucked up. That's why I hate NFTs. So I'm thankful because I think literally as soon as NFTs start getting taxed, I think the whole like art phase of it, with crypto bros and, the Bored Ape shit, I think that's not going to do as well because then like people are going to start having to pay taxes on the shit that they buy. And trust me, when those people dump that kind of money into NFTs, they're not going to be able to afford to fucking pay the taxes on it once they're the last person in the blockchain who bought the shit, and
they're holding the bag,
and they can't sell it to anybody.
Yeah, they're holding that bag.
That in itself is proof that they're not going to be self-sustaining forever. But this is what worries me, Dennis, and it's the reason that I'm still talking about it, even though we said, "Oh, another short episode," blah blah blah.
We're ending it after this, guys.
Yeah,
David, go ahead.
for sure. It's because I don't see this going. If other game companies pick this up, I think we're fucked. Because, like, I don't see this changing in the world of video games. Like, video game NFTs and stuff, I'm gonna be real, they're pretty different than, like, the traditional, like, NFT artwork that you see people have as their profile pictures. Like, oh, put yourself in the blockchain, buy the token to this art, for $25 billion, blah, 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 over and over again. It's a little different in video games for the fact that, like, they claim it's supposed to be about self-sustaining growth. It's literally just an extra money for these people. But that's what worries me. It's that it is different, so I'm worried that in video games it actually is going to stay. And I feel like people are just going to get to the point where they're not going to care even though they're not into NFTs because they just want to play their games, and rightfully so. But it just seems like another shitty way for the people at the top to just make money off of this, which is so funny because everybody who's into this NFT bullshit claims that that's the exact opposite of what it's actually about, which it's not. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme. That's all it is.
Hypocrites, for the most part, a lot of times they don't even know that they're hypocrites. That's a fact as well.
This sentence. Oh my god, this fucking sentence makes me want to punch through my fucking monitor. It says, I realize that some people who play to have fun and who currently form the majority of players have voiced their reservation towards these new trends. Like, we're well aware that most people seem to hate NFTs, and understandably so. His words. He says, understandably so, they hate this shit. However, I believe that there will be a certain number of people whose motivation is to play to contribute, by which I mean to help make the game more exciting. So I understand his logic there. Whatever, we're going to get extra money off the game for no reason, which we could help put towards the game. Are you going to put that towards making the game better? Or is that shit just going in your pockets?
Yeah, because that also sounds like empty promises. Don't it?
Oh my god, he's talking about like I hate like traditional game. I'm still reading this shit. Traditional gaming.
All right, guys,
has
we're gonna end
offered-
the
shut the
episode
fuck
here
up.
today.
Traditional
No, we're
game.
ending
Shut
it
the
here.
fuck up.
No.
Shut the fuck
No,
up,
no
Dennis.
one needs to. No
Yes,
one
they
needs
do.
to know about. Why?
What do you mean why?
Why?
Because it pisses me off and it's my fucking podcast and I want to rant about it. I let you rant about your bullshit.
All right.
Let me rant about mine.
All right, you got 5 minutes. Go.
I got 5 minutes.
Actually, no, you got 1 minute. Go.
Oh my god, you're such a fucking virgin. Traditional gaming has offered no explicit like he's talking about these people who like want to like buy NFTs in this game as if they somehow are this tiny group of people. They're just like, oh, I want to be
45
able to pay
seconds.
into these. I want to be able to buy into this. Traditional gaming has offered no explicit incentive to this latter group of people who were motivated strictly by such inconsistent personal feelings as goodwill and volunteer spirit.
30 seconds.
Like, what? That's not what they're motivated by. They're motivated by thinking that they could sell their pile of nothing to another person who thinks it's worth something. It's not goodwill and volunteer spirit. It's because they're trying to get rich too. Point is, I think they're bad because it just brings out the worst in everybody. People who buy these games to just, try to get in on the NFT thing, they're not doing it out of goodwill. They're doing it because they think they can get rich too, and that's not the reason people should enjoy an art form. Imagine every time you went to the fucking movies that you had to, like, bid on a particular scene in the movie. That's basically what's going on here.
Time.
Like, no one wants to fucking, like, do that. They want to, like, buy a product to actually enjoy it. Anyone who's saying it needs to be more complicated than that is just trying to get rich by doing no extra work.
I mean,
End thread.
even art.
Up,
art
time,
pieces-
time.
Yes, I know.
We're done.
I just wanted to just throw one quick comparison.
Time. No, we're time.
Stuff at the Mona, like even big name like art pieces like those are just real life NFTs. Honestly, they're always just used as tax.
That's the reason I always hated I hated the modern arts, world before NFTs were even.
Well,
a
like
thing.
the big names though, like the pieces that are like literally going out for like 10 million. 100 million, even like some crazy ass fucking numbers.
I at least respect
like-
it as being different because when they buy the Mona Lisa, they hang it in their fucking,
I still think that's the worst looking painting on the face of the fucking planet. The
Mona Lisa,
not that good looking, honestly.
I mean, it's not my favorite personally. I like Van Gogh a little bit better. Starry Night is one of my more preferred paintings. Maybe some stuff from the Golden Age and the Renaissance.
Michelangelo's my homie. Naked babies, bro. But guys,
Whoa.
this was our episode for today. God, it's fucking sucked. But so NFT's bad.
Michelle Obama president, maybe?
Question mark.
Question mark.
They're gonna make coins out of her.
Tara Strong, a hot MILF, invested in dumb shit. Investors? Possibly you. Prestige worldwide. Wide.
Double D.
Wide.
Double D experience. Getting sponsors. Unlikely? Question mark.
Yo, by the way, guys, we have our current price standing on OpenSeas at 50 ETH for the Double D Experience logo. You can purchase that today at the starting bid of 50 ETH. Pick up a Double D Experience NFT today.
David,
Our lifestyles have changed, and we are learning to coexist with COVID-19.
Can you imagine if we made a Double D NFT and it actually does skyrocket the the price just goes over the fucking moon?
Dude, that's the thing. We easily could. All we would have to do is that one of us would put up it as the NFT. You purchase it. I buy it back from you. Vice versa, vice versa, vice versa. It keeps going up and up and up. And all of a sudden, the hype builds up over the Double D NFT. And then some dumb fuck who just has really rich parents and he's never left his house,
But
will
loves our
buy
podcast.
that from us, but loves our podcast. So thank you so much for your listenership. We'll buy it from us for like $250,000, and then all of a sudden we don't have to fucking work again for like another year.
Or forever, maybe. If we invest-
Forever and ever.
if we invest it right, then yeah, chances are, maybe. But
I feel like if Remy was an idiot, she would buy our Double D NFT. But she's not, so like she's like wouldn't do that. She would be like,
Dude,
"Oh,
if-
I want to support the Double D experience," and stuff.
dude, if we just had like one rich fan, like I think would be set.
That's all it takes.
all it takes. We need a Logan Paul for our fan base. We need one guy.
Dude, we literally don't know. We could go on OpenSeas right now and literally find the Double D Experience logo sold as an NFT, and someone stole it from us, and then there's nothing you and I could do.
That's why we got to do it first, man. We got to put it in the blockchain first. All right, this episode's over.
Suck
Fuck
my
it.
fucking cock chain. Anyway.
David, put your fiver thing.
There it is.
Here's my.
Boom. Bada bing.
It's part of the cock chain, bro.
Suck my fucking cock chain. Oh, dude, people were making NFTs of Etika. Like, please fucking. Oh.
Your Fiverr, put it in.
Alright, so if you like my Fiverr profile, here it is. You can hire me for your personal project. I do YouTube and promo and commercial and character work. I only accept US dollars. Please do not pay me in Ethereum. That shit is worthless to me. I don't want it.
I was honestly gonna interject and be like, I exclusively take NFTs as currency.
Wasn't that the new South Park bit? And we only accept, Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies because, it's the future. And we all decided that centralized banking is rigged. So we trust fly-by-night Ponzi schemes now. Yeah, I know. Makes so much sense.
I gotta watch some of that.
The fact that
South
Butters
Park.
was the dude who was like full on the NFT train was just perfect. That was just fucking perfect. Anyways, here's our
watch the new
fucking
stuff.
socials and all that stuff. Boom, Denise.
We got Instagram, which I head. That's my part of the Roman Empire, David. You take your half.
Great boy, Potter.
Also,
Got me questioning
obviously,
my loyalty to Rome.
Twitter, headed by
Chowder.
David. We also got our other.
You take the moon and you take the sun. You
Shut
take
up, Dave.
NFTs that seem like fun.
Spotify,
Your blockchain
Google,
there,
Apple
man,
Podcasts.
then you're done. Rada.
And as well as Anchor as well, and a few others. That's all going to be listed down below.
Copy
Thank
and
you
paste
for-
because someone's always posting. Come on in, feel free to join the blockchain.
Free to join the cockchain.
Stay a while they're sucking on my cockchain, yeah. Oh, rada. Oh yeah, food.
Guys, thank you so much.
Decentralized
On the
gaming
real-
is bullshit. Like, it's a centralized
real-
company.
On the real, thank you guys for listening to us rant and rave about non-real tokens. This episode tired me, and I'm hungry. Dave, I'm leaving. Bye.
Okay, see you later. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for next week. Follow all the links. Send us your questions, all that good stuff. And be sure to send us your NFTs. I'm trying to build my collection in my phone gallery.
David, I just threw up.
Omicron?
No, Unicron, idiot.
NFTs?
Blockchain?
Tar-
Question mark?
Investors? Possibly you.
Retarded art for lots of money? Question mark?
Oh my god, it's so ugly. Alright. Lights off.